शेयर करेंगे। हाँ, उसमें से शेयर कर देंगे। ओके, यू कैन, आई कैन नॉट शेयर। आपको शेयर करने की जरूरत नहीं है, यहाँ तो मैं लगा दूंगा। ओके, आप बस करना पड़ेगी ओपन, या तो आप भी शेयर कर सकते हैं। ये विंडोज के दबाएंगे ना, एक मिनट रुको। विंडोज के दबाएंगे। डिवाइस नहीं आ रहा है। मैं कर दूंगा। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जन गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानन्दन व्रजधन। यशोदानन्दन व्रजधन। रावण चाहते रावण चाहते। कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे राम कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण हरे राम हरे जय श्री राधा माधव भगवान की जय। जय जय श्री राधा गोपीजन वल्लभ भगवान की जय। जय श्री निताय पतित पावन गौर हरि भगवान की जय। जय जय श्री जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वती व्यासं ततो जयामुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांस श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितं हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभयेव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणी। हरे कृष्ण। जय श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। I seek blessings from all the senior devotees just to recite whatever I have heard and learned from the previous acharyas and many gurus and sannyasis and senior devotees. So we will discuss today in Srimad Bhagavatam 4.10.16 to 16, 17 and then 18, 19. So 16, 17 doesn't have any purport. So we'll just recite and 18, 19 we'll discuss. So we'll recite together the sloka Sankhya 16, text 16, 4, 10, 16. धनुर्विस्फुर्जयन् दिव्यम् द्विशतां खेदम् उद्वहन् अस्त्रौघं व्यधमत् बाणैः घनानीकम् इवानिलः धनुर्विस्फुर्जयन् दिव्यम् द्विशतं खेदमुद्वहन् अस्त्रोघं व्यधमद्बाणैः घनानिकम् इवानिलः धनुर्विस्फुर्जयन् दिव्यम् द्विशतं खेदमुद्वहन् अस्त्रोघं व्यधमद्बाणैर्घनानिकम् इवानिलः धनुर्विस्फुर्जयन् दिव्यम् द्विशतं खेदमुद्वहन् अस्त्रोघं व्यधमद्बाणैर्घनानिकम् इवानिलः. What word meaning? Dhanu is bow. Visfurjayan, twanging. Divyam, wonderful. Dvisatam, of the enemies. Khedam, lamentation. Udvahan, creating. Astrogham, different types of weapons. Vyadhamat, scattered. Banai, with his arrows. Ghana, of clouds. Anikam, an army. Iva, like. Anila, the wind. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Dhruva Maharaj's bow and arrows twanged and hissed, causing lamentation in the hearts of his enemies. He began to shoot incessant arrows, shattering all their different weapons, just as the blasting wind scatters the assembled clouds in the sky. Text 17, I'll just read out. तस्य ते चापनिर्मुक्ता भित्वा वर्माणि रक्षसां कायान् आविविशुस्तिग्मा गिरिन् असनयो यथा. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. The sharp arrows released from the bow of Dhruva Maharaj pierced the shields and bodies of the enemy like the thunderbolts released by the King of Heaven, which dismantle the bodies of the mountains. Text 18 and 19. भल्लै संचिद्यमानानां शिरोभिश्चारुकुण्डलै उरुभिर्हेमतालाभैर्दुर्भिर्बलयबल्गुभिः हारकेयूरमुकुटैर्पुष्णिशैश्च महाधनैः आस्त्रतास्तारणभुवो रेजुर्वीरमनोहरा. Translation and purpose by His Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. The great sage Maitreya continued, My dear Vidura, the heads of those who were cut to pieces by the arrows of Dhruva Maharaj were decorated very beautifully with earrings and turbans. The legs of their bodies were as beautiful as golden palm trees. Their arms were decorated with golden bracelets and armlets, and on their heads there were very valuable helmets bedecked with gold. All these ornaments lying on that battlefield were very attractive and could bewilder the mind of a hero. Purport by Sri Prabhupada. It appears that in those days, soldiers used to go to the battlefield highly decorated with golden ornaments and with helmets and turbans. And when they were dead, the booty was taken by the enemy party. Their falling dead in battle with their many golden ornamental dresses was certainly a lucrative opportunity for the heroes on the battlefield. Jai Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Narayana Namaste. Okay, again. Okay, no problem, we can start. Yeah, again, I seek the blessings of the devotees so that I can speak, so that I should not utter any like uh, words or the things which is not appropriate. So please bless me and bear with me. So just to read the translation again, it is very nice that uh, it says Maitreya again continues from there that my dear Vidura, the heads of those who were cut to pieces by the arrows of Dhruv Maharaj were decorated very beautifully with earrings and turbans. The legs of their bodies were as beautiful as golden palm trees. Their arms were decorated with golden bracelets and armlets, and on their heads there were very valuable helmets bedecked with gold. All these ornaments lying on the battlefield were very attractive and could build the mind of a hero. So the battle between Dhruv Maharaj and the Yakshas continues. So as in the text number 16, he says, in 15 it was already discussed that once the fight, the intense fight started. So first Dhruv Maharaj like threw three arrows each. There were like 1,30,000 yakshas. So he was throwing three arrows per person, per yaksha. So they also retaliated with double amount. Like, okay, you are throwing three, I'll throw six. So many, like more than 1 million arrows on the sky. So with that, Dhruv Maharaj, along with his chariot, was completely covered. So at that time, as we were discussing in earlier days, so like Dhruv Maharaj was completely covered. So all the demigods and all, they were become very frightened that what happened. Like maybe Dhruv Maharaj is lost the battle or what. They are not able to see. 1 million arrows covered completely. So, but all of a sudden, then Dhruv Maharaj's chariot appeared. So they got relaxed. Oh yes, Dhruv is there. So the same thing, I think all these uh, like hints in today's films and dramas they take from this kind of like stories. So we think that this is something new, innovative thing they are doing. But when we read Bhagavatam, every kind of stories, dramas, okay, everything you can get from Bhagavatam. It is nothing that which is not there in Bhagavatam. All these things maybe somehow or the other, even if they don't read, but that is there, okay, from the Lord or from the previous things, it is there. Or somehow or other it comes. And in Puranas, they read something and then they just twist that to see it on their purpose and they represent in a way that, oh, I innovated this. Who is the director? It's so nice. So always they show like this. Whenever there is fight, it will show that it is not that one-sided always. If the hero is always winning, then there will be no like excitement. So they will always show that yes, now the hero is losing. Maybe he's down. Then all of a sudden it will come up. So the same thing. And obviously, it is not that Vyasdev has written this in so long. So whatever we are now seeing in the TVs or the serials, so those are obviously they come from the previous things. So when he was throwing such arrows, so first of all, they were so just by hearing the sounds of the like as we read, so Dhromara's arrows twanged and hissed by the sound of the arrows and bows. That itself causing lamentation in the hearts of the enemies. So it was such an ferocious sounds coming from those arrows. And it's shattering all their different weapons, just as the blasting wind scattered assembled clouds in the sky. So after that, when he started killing those yakshas, so then as it is, like so here Maitreya Muni continues the scene directly, like a broadcast. Like nowadays we see sometimes the live broadcast. Okay? Even in the current days, sometimes the war from the war field they do the live cast, okay? Live broadcasting. So like that, all these like wars, like the battles which are described, so are seen like revered acharyas or the munis like Maitreya Muni or like Sukadeva Goswami. When they were explaining, they were just doing some kind of live broadcast from there, as if they are seeing that. So that's why I sometimes meditated that people say these are maybe some concocted. Somebody just thought like nowadays people write the stories, okay, and books, okay, fictional books, so that it will be very much excited to the people so that they can accept it. So people say that, yeah, like that only, these are also written in that way so that people can accept. But if these are written in that way, then they would have maintained it properly in a chronological order and everything. If they had to prove something that no, no, I am writing something fictional, but when people read, they should accept it as a like real one. But it is not that. Whenever some part came, then they went into that place and they explained as it is. It is not like, okay, morally it not be so good, so we should not explain that. So it is nothing like that. So whatever is there, as it is, they explained. It is not about some to prove someone or something that yeah, you accept this as a truth. So they explain this as it is so that the faithful people, okay, the Shraddhavan, when they recite this, and when they hear it, automatically they will be get attracted to the transcendental pastimes of the devotees of the Lord and the Lord's pastimes. So there was nothing that they will make out something and then they will represent. Nothing like that. So here also the battlefield going on and he's describing how beautiful it is. Like the yakshas heads are cutting. Such a like ferocious scene that is. But in that also, like they see like how the nice the ornaments and uh, the helmets, the turbans which were there, they were bedecked with gold jewels and everything. So those were a sight, like so many nice jewelries, ornaments, the gold. So he was describing like any person, if if such as a if he a great hero also, by looking at so much wealth and such golden ornaments, he may be bewildered, but not the hero like Dhruv Maharaj. Okay, he had a mission, so he was just going there like out of anger and some kind of the revenge mood. So he wanted to finish the Yakshas. That's why he was completely focused on that, not about like what is there to collect. He had no mission to collect wealth. So here, like there are few things which like we can uh, think about. Like first of all is like Prabhupada, like sometimes and many a times Prabhupada lamented that these days such nice beautiful people are there in Western countries and but they don't have any gold jewelries, nice ornaments to like make up themselves, decorate themselves. So earlier how nicely the queens, the ladies were like with jewelries and gold, they would decorate themselves. And it is like in Krishna Lila also, when we see like when Krishna appeared, all the like Brajvasis, they decorated themselves very nicely, very beautifully, because they have to come in front of the Lord. They're so happy. So when someone is happy, then obviously he will try to be maintain himself. He'll try to look good by himself. And when we come to the Lord, actually it's not that we come as a beggar. So we should be like properly, nicely decorated, and then we should come. And for Vaishnavas, our main decoration is like Kanthimala and Tilak. We should have nice Kanthimala in the neck and proper Tilak and nicely clean dhoti kurta or Mataji's wear saris. So that is the Vaishnav with the Vaishnava attire when we come nicely clean and with Tilak and then it is like the Lord will also be pleased. Like, yeah, how nice. The yes, animals were wearing golds. Yeah, that but time. Speak about the humans. Yes. And the animals were wearing. So that time, even for animals, there were like for giving charity also for the cows. In the cow soup, they would put it with silver and gold. Yeah, and yeah, gold on the gold on the horns and silver on the hooves. They'll put. But nowadays, even for the Matajis, for ladies, there is no gold. They'll say white gold. They'll say, imitation jewelry, white gold. What white gold? White gold means metal. Metal. So, so they do all those things. So now, still they say that we are advanced. So those days are like stone ages. These are not stone ages. Those are golden ages. They are gold, not stone ages. But people think that, oh, this may not be true. Well, how is it not true? Even just in the history only, if you see, like how much gold was there in India itself. So how can it be that all these things would be just stories and not true? And also it is said that gold is very like it has some like good health capability also. Like it is healthy for ladies to wear no, jewelries, gold jewelries above the waist so that their health becomes good in so many ways. Well, I have nothing to like prove how does it do in a physical way. But I have read in so like a few days back that it does some health benefits when they wear gold jewelries in certain places. That's why it is there. And that too, here in battlefield, the kings were going. Now here, if someone is going to fight with someone, first if he is wearing some valuable, he'll just remove it. Okay, keep this aside. Now, if anyone is going to do even for the watch, they'll remove the watch. Okay, going to fight with someone, or if there is a fight or there is some physical work I have to do, then they'll just remove the valuable things. If I'm wearing a ring, a chain, or a nice bracelet or watch, I'll remove. But that time, the kings, they were wearing all the jewelries and the ornaments and the golden helmet, mukut. So by wearing that, they were going. So appearance in the battlefield also should be nice. They're saying, I am a king, so I should be looking good. Not that I'll just keep aside all the ornaments and jewelries and go to fight. No, even what to talk about just like these yakshas, so many yakshas, they are not kings, they are just the people in uh, the normal soldiers. They were just to guard the wealth of the earth. So they had such nice golden helmets, ornaments, and also because the yakshas are not some demons, so he's also describing them how good they were looking. So the special thing I was just reading, like bodies were as beautiful as golden, like the legs of their bodies were as beautiful as golden palm trees. So not only like it is obvious that like our acharyas they describe or when the Bhagavatam is described So they describe the limbs of the Lord or the devotees, how they are. But even for the yakshas, the limbs are glorified, how good they were looking. Okay. And their arms were decorated with golden bracelets and armlets. And on their heads, there were very valuable helmets bedecked with gold. So, although, so there were so many golds and everything, but Dhruv Maharaj was completely one way focused, just how to finish these things. So, one point we can make out from here, like when we are in a certain goal, then we have to be one pointed. Like in Bhagavatam, it is there. Tasmat ekena manasa Bhagavan Iswaro Hari. So Tasmat ekena manasa. So we have to be one pointed. Therefore, we should be one pointed when we want to serve the Lord. Even if there are some like lucrative things which may attract during that time, then but we should not be bewildered or like lost our focus towards that. When we start doing devotional services, so sometimes we feel immediately we feel very relaxed, and the people who are working or some, let's say in some business or some work, so they might start getting a lot of wealth. So in that, that person may lost focus to the devotional service and may go towards the lucrative things, the wealth, the gold. So gold means wealth. So earlier, whenever it used to mention that gold means wealth. So nowadays we'll say, okay, gold is not there, gold, so it's fine. No, if we have cash, that is the gold. Now the cash or the liquid cash also is also like the new age gold, because now there is no transactions is done in gold. Earlier, every transaction was going through gold, but now slowly it was changed. It came to some form of like some commodities exchange, and then it came to currency, then currency to now liquid currency. Okay, so now it has come to some other like uh, bitcoins and all digital currency now it has come. So all these things. So whenever in the shastras or in scriptures we read having a lot of gold, okay, or being attracted to gold means nowadays to being attracted to anything, wealth, which may distract us from the other goals. So if you are one pointed, if you try to serve the Lord, then we have to be one pointed. We might get, when we are doing the service, when we are surrendered to the Lord, why the Lord will not give? So ultimately, sometimes He may give also, but there is a very big scope of getting a lot of wealth, but that wealth may destroy us sometimes if we do not know how to use that in a proper way, not to enjoy the wealth for ourselves and our sense gratification, rather than just using that wealth for the Lord's service and the service of the poor people or who doesn't have wealth. Because of that, they are not able to serve the Lord. So that's why, like Guru Maharaj used to says that there are two things. Like when we are uh, like going in a boat, so if the water comes inside the boat, in two hands we have to remove the water as early as possible. So like that, in a grihastha life, in a householder life, if all of a sudden if the wealth increases, then they should give in charity with both hands as early as possible, and to like reduce that incessant flow of wealth in their account or in. Otherwise, if they see, oh, I am a householder life, okay, as much as wealth comes in, it is welcome, but that will ruin the particularly the devotional life, because the entire life will go in managing the wealth, how to spend the wealth, okay, how to manage, how to upkeep, how to protect the wealth. Okay, it should not be lost now. If I am this much rich, if tomorrow if I lose this, then my status will be all in a haywire state. So no one will like give me any like prestige. So that'll be a problem. So as much, so people who are not so rich, they are not so worried. But once they get rich, then they want to maintain that. So which was not there in their list, okay, that to maintain something few years back, one of like all of a sudden, if they got a lot of wealth and they become rich, then one more like checklist comes in that they have to protect their wealth as well as maintain that, and that steady flow should come. Like when one becomes richer and comes into, let's say, Fortune 500 and all, then they have to maintain because all others are growing, let's say 10% or 20% CAGR. If I am not growing in that, then I fall below. So that is a big mental stress they get. So that's why this says, it is said that if one gets wealth, it is just to be used for the others. So earlier the king said wealth for what? Just to maintain the people in his state, so that the people should be maintained in such a way that they would not have any stress for day-to-day life, maintaining their lives, for their health, for their well-being, so that they can like easily serve the Lord and they can focus on doing devotional service to the Lord. So in that way, they were maintaining. But nowadays, like if the state is not doing like that, then the people, at least the wealthy people, have the responsibility and the duties so that whatever the wealth they get, they distribute to the poor. So that at least the poor is anyway, whatever for whatever reason from his past deeds or whatever the due to his own karma, previous deeds. So he's suffering, but it is the responsibility of the rich or the wealthier person to maintain them, to give them at least what they need for the health and food, so that they won't be disturbed to just get the food and shelter. So once they get that, at least they can, and then we can give the knowledge of the God consciousness. So that's how the wealth should be used, and one should be very much focused and not distracted. Like if something else comes in our way when we are in a single pointed goal to achieve, like the service of the Lord or the love of God, then there will be disturbances. So in whatever we do, some of the other things will come as a disturbance, but we have to be one pointed in focus. So that focus, so by looking at so many like pastimes of our previous devotees and other people, so we should take the inspiration from that, that how we can keep aside some disturbances, although it is lucrative, although it may look that okay, we should grab this. And what is the false like what is the loss to just grab this few things and then just go ahead. But grabbing this would be a problem. Like if you keep collecting everything, then you can't go far. If I have to go certain things, like certain miles, if I keep collecting everything and putting in, okay, I got this one, okay, let me keep this. And then after few fits, I'll see, oh, I have so many things now. So much weight I can't take up. Then I feel so I may not cover all these things. So like that, if we just keep collecting the things which are not at all required to travel a certain path, then it will be very difficult to travel and reach to the goal. So that's why if our goal is to get the devotional service, the love of God through devotional service, then all other things which we'll get, they can either be it wealth or name and fame So these are the things, the prestige, the establishments which we'll get, those will be certainly some distractions to reach our goal. So without just ignoring those things, or just making use of in a good way, so that like wealth comes, to distribute that, the people, there will be people who not be able to do good, very poor, or like people, not every people can worship making temples. So if a temple is made, so everyone should be welcome without any charges, so they can come and worship. So in a way, so the wealth can be used. So if the name fame is there, so in a good way it should be used, so that like if there is no goodwill of a certain organization, then obviously no one will come. So if you do good, people appreciate, then we should use that as like attracting more people. Like, yeah, it's a good place. This organization is good, so that people can connect. But if we become, oh, now we are good, everyone is praising. So if we become proud, egoistic, then obviously the people who would be attracting, they would be distracted. They'll feel, oh, what these people are. Like we've seen, there are so many earlier. Like just to understand, like there were so many companies. They were very nice. They were making real nice products and everything, and they suddenly they popped up. Like, oh, we are this now. Whatever we do, people will just take it because we are good. You know, so they don't listen to people. They thought that whatever we do, we are good. So people will just buy. If we say you need to do in a certain way, so people start doing that, but not for long. So then people started saying, so someone else will come and will do what the people need. So when they did that, and these big companies, so they just could not stand against those people because they were puffed up that, okay, we have name and fame brand, so we'll do as we want. So it doesn't go that way. It should be beneficial to others also. So whatever the good distraction, bad distractions comes in our way of achieving the goal. So we should ignore, or if possible at all, make use of that in a good way. So with that, like Dhruv Maharaj, we should completely focus to get our goal. So by this, I'll give rest to my speaking and will stop the Srimad Bhagavatam here. So if anyone has any questions or suggestions or feedbacks, wants to say some reflections, you are welcome.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, you mentioned about charity. So, where we should give the charity? Means like that we should donate to temple who is helping the poor people or directly to the poor people?
Yeah, both are good. I am not I am not saying that one is the other should be better, or one should be done, other should be not. So the thing is, we should see that how we are helping the poor. So like sometimes, like the question, like in a way, somebody would straight away ask, no, if we give the poor, they just enjoy and they don't work. Okay, or they, if you give some money, if they use it in a wrong way, then what?
Yeah,
So
that's my question.
yes,
Like karma also affect you if they are not
yes,
using it the correct way.
that is there. That's why what we do is we give them food, sanctified prasadam. So in a way that will be helpful for them. We give them cloth directly. Okay, sometimes like if they don't have cloth, we can give cloth, and slowly we can invite them. So like through a community which is serving through Lord, okay, to upkeep, to raise the people where they are, and slowly they can realize, okay, if these people are serving, it's nice. Then slowly we can educate them and come and ask them, okay, you do a little service. Anyway, we are helping you so much. So like that, there are so many people we can like a fraction also if you can do like 1% people, 2% people, if they come up, so okay, so this thing I can do, this cleaning I can do, this one. So slowly we can increase their level. So through that, like through the spiritual organizations, we can help them more rather than like if we say directly give. So if you know directly someone who can, to whom you can do some good, that's fine. But if you do not know, then in this current society, you never know who is really needy, okay, or not. Okay, someone would be just a very lazy person. He doesn't want to do anything, just want to live on free food and clothing. So that's really not good. So that's not in the mode of goodness, the charity. So, but the charity is the people who really wants to help others. Okay, the God conscious people wants to spread the message of the God. In that way, if that is done, that is the best charity. Like the charity is also explained in Bhagavad Gita in different modes. So when it is the charity is done for spreading the name fame of the God. So prasadam distribution is one of the charity of spreading the mercy of the Lord. Although they know or do not know, that's different thing. But the mercy is already gone to them. So somehow or the other, later or sooner, this will work. So like that, if they are able to read, they are able to hear, we can do some chanting, some kirtan. So if you have to do Nagar Sankirtan or do some programs for them or teach them, that also requires money. That also, so everything requires money in this world. So if we keep our charity in a way that it will benefit people in one or the other way to bring them and give them the information about Lord, that would be the best charity.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
I think we will stop here. वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यश्च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव भक्त वृंद की जय। जय जय श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। जय श्री कृष्ण। जय।